Okay, welcome back. Welcome back. Welcome back. For three more races, we got the distaff, the turf, and the classic. We're back here for three more races, and we'll take another break after this. But yeah, the distaff is the next race here. Actually, I'll let the track audio go for here for the post parade.
Alvarado is aboard for the Hall of Famer Bill Mott, third last time out in the Grade 1 Spinster, is 5 for 15 lifetime.
Alice Berete is following the same pattern of another Japanese mare who was successful in the distaff, but comes off a disappointing effort in her most recent start, a tough prep, looks for her first win of the year.
There's a good look at Jin prancing around out there. She's 16-1. Louis Saez aboard. For trainer Brendan Wells, going to be her second start off a 3-month layoff, winning by a
Welcome
head in the
back.
Grade
Welcome
1
back.
Spinster
What
last
it's worth, I've never seen her look better. She's a happy horse. Seismic Beauty, the even money favorite for Bob Baffert, my racehorse, and partners with Juan Hernandez. She's put together 3 consecutive wins, the most recent in the Clement Hirsch here at Del Mar.
Here's a good look at Majestic Oops, a Calbred. Umberto Risperly is aboard for trainer Dan Ward, fourth last time out in the Delaware handicap in the slop last time out, going a mile and an eighth.
Gunsong for Mark Hennig, winner of the Bell Dame at the mile and an eighth at Aqueduct, second start back off a layoff.
Another big long shot, Dry Powder at 70-1, 3-year-old filly by Gun Runner. She's 2 for 6 lifetime, coming off a second place neck defeat in the Grade 1 Cotillion last out.
Well, if you're looking for the horse whose price is probably going to drop from here at 6-1, I think it's this one. Darth Vader at 6-1 would be a gift. She was beaten just a nose in the personal. Ensign by Torpedo Anna has arguably come closer than most of her rivals in tackling the pro tem leader of the division.
Ezra Gallad is going to round out your post parade. Another filly. Her last 3 races, ever since getting to trainer Whit Beckman's farm, has improved, coming off a 6-length win in the Delaware handicap last out.
We turn to DRF Formulator to look at an angle here with Darth Vader. It's regarding trainer George Weaver and jockey John Velasquez. They are 10 for 47 when they combine over the last 2 years, and that's a very good return on.
Okay, we're about 8 minutes out from the distaff, the Breeders' Cup distaff. We got a field of 12. We have one scratch, Scottish Lassie, the 5 with Joel Rosario board. That one's a scratch. Other than that, we have 12. Let's listen up here.
You couldn't ask for us to run any better. She ran huge. She's had a great year. You know, she won the Ogden Phipps. I actually thought she won the race, and the photo proved us wrong. But she's been a star all year, and she's got a great chance today.
You slide in one spot with the scratch, but still pretty far out there. Is the post draw a disadvantage for you here in the distaff?
I wouldn't have picked it, but, you know, any post can be a disadvantage depending on how things go at the break. So, look, Johnny's the best. He knows her well, and I'll let him figure that part out.
Good luck, George.
Thank you.
Okay, well, it's our time now. We are, as you see on the screen, I have 3 money back selections. I'm playing 3 money backs today on Twin Spires, DK Horse, and FanDuel Racing. We're going with 3 $10 money back specials. That's the way to go. I mean, you got to take advantage of them. The 1 Nitrogen at 4-1. We're using the 3. I can't quite see it. My glasses. It looks like Clico with Flavian Pratt aboard at 9-1. And the 12 Darth Vader, who I really like at 12-1. I'm not crazy about the post, but I don't think it's going to be that big a deal. So that's my money back special. And then we're doing a money back special 3, 4, 7, and 12. Now, I did leave out, I left out the 1 and the 1 and the no, I didn't leave out. I just left out the 1 from my money back specials because I was going for a little bit more of a price. So I went with the 3 at 9-1, the 4 at 8-1, the 7 at 16-1, and the 12 at 6-1. So I really wanted the 7 Jin in the exacta box. I think this one can get in underneath, but it's not too big. This one is has been fairly chalky in the past. So I didn't bet. I'm not betting too much here. I think we just have a $5 exacta box, so it's like a $60 play, the exacta. I'm not real confident about it. This could be the favorite, Seismic Beauty. I don't know how good Seismic Beauty really is, but I didn't want to take a chance in case Seismic Beauty won. I do have a small Seismic Beauty over some long shot bets. Actually, I didn't put this in the scroll, but I do have a long shot bet. My money back specials, the 1, 3, and the 12 over 2, 6, 7, 13. Maybe I'll put that on a separate scroll. But that's my play right now. Um, if you're playing, good luck. Thank you for joining us. If you're here on the first part of the show, we did 3 races. We took a break. We're going to do 3 more right now. The distaff, the turf, and the classic. We'll take another 10 to 15-minute break so I get something to drink and kind of use the restroom, whatever. And then we'll come back for the last 3 races. So if you don't, if you have trouble finding the next stream, maybe I'll try and put the link in the comments. But welcome back. If you were here with us for the first 3 races, we hit the first 2 races, made a nice little exacta on the first race. I think we netted about 350, 400. Then came back and made another 100 or so on the second race, and then got kicked in the shins on the third race. So we're hoping to bounce back here with a little money, not do anything too big. We're going to probably save it for the turf, which is a really good payout race. So that's my play. Money backs 1, 3, 12, exacta box 3, 4, 7, 12. And then in a second here, I'll type up the favorite over long shot exacta. I did a small one. All right. I'll let you back to the screen here.
Interesting because she's on the inside. So Jose Ortiz may be forced to do something a little bit earlier than would normally be the case from his position. Clico can show speed. I doubt that she will do that. I think she would sit more a stalking trip rather than compromise her stablemate's chances. Her best chance to me is to have a target and run down late. And then Scylla is the wild card because I think she's fast enough to make the lead. And I also thought, judging by her works, which have been lightning fast, that you're going to see speed away from the gate.
Yeah, especially that 46 and 3 sharp half mile, best of 5 that morning. You would have to think that that is going to put a lot of speed in. And just 2 races back, going 7/8 in a ballerina at Saratoga, she was on the lead, going 22 and 2 and 44 and 2. So to your point, she definitely has enough speed to go. It's just a matter of what tactics they want to use going into the first turn.
So many great betting opportunities beginning in this race. One of the most anticipated pools is the pick 6. It is a $1 minimum. The pool is approaching $1.4 million. Again, an all Breeders' Cup pick 6 beginning here in race 7. And Joaquin Jaime has a $96 play.
Six ticket on Championship Saturday to play into here. So I'm going to go 4 deep to start, 1, 4, 8, 12 in here. The first single is going to come up for me in the Breeders' Cup turf. I respect Minnie Hawk and the favorite, give her all the respect in the world, but I'm going to go with the old man who's a 2-time Breeders' Cup winner, has had a ton of success in the States. I will single Rebels Romance, the 1 in the Breeders' Cup turf. As we move on to race number 9, Todd, the big one, the Breeders' Cup Classic, 1, 5, 8, 9 for me. Top pick will be the 5, Forever Young. He ran really well last year, chasing that hot pace. He was covered up. He was down on the rail. He is better drawn this year. 4 deep in the Breeders' Cup Classic for me. Race number 10, the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile, 3, 4, 7. Really like Johannes in there, getting back to form, winning the City of Hope at Santa Anita. The other single for me is going to come in race number 11, the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. Nisos off his victory in the San Diego. It didn't work out to run in the Pacific Classic. I just think 8 furlongs.
So a couple of plays that I do every year. They're kind of lucky hunch plays. They're lucky number plays that I do. They're small plays, but just so you know, I play a 10-cent superfecta every race. I box 5, 6, 4, 3. And if I like the win, if I like a horse It's one of those numbers. I'll single them for $1 and box the others around it. Some people think it's a waste of money, but it has hit before. It hit back in the, oh God, what's it, 15 years ago. A 10-cent super paid $8,000 or something. No, maybe it wasn't that much. Maybe it was 4,000. One of the Ken Ramsey horses. But so there's two hunch plays I do. I box 5643, and then I also box 5724 in a try, a 50-cent try. So just kind of side notes. They're kind of fun bets that I look for. I'm expecting, not expecting, I'm hoping to hit the 5724 try exacta box somewhere within these 2 days. It hasn't happened so far, but just thought I'd throw that in there. Just kind of little fun things to do. Yeah, you can see my money back specials 1-3-12 and exacta box 3-4-7-12. I also using the favorites over long shot 1-3-12 over 2-6-7-13. So good luck if you're playing.
Into the starting gate. The roar from the My Racehorse contingent. We see Clico going in, Scylla, Majestic Oops and Gun Song. Elise Verite going into line. Dry Powder. Darth Vader. One left to load, that's Regaled. Regaled coming up to the outside stall will complete the field. Stepping forward and in. And they're all in line. And we've got one breaking through the gate here. That's Jin Jin. Just got a little over anxious. Opened up the front of the gate. They'll close that. Seismic Beauty right next to her. Reacted as well. Jin Jin has been backed out of the gate. We'll get a look here from the veterinarian behind the gate. And gets the okay to come back. All in line. Ready for the start. They're off. In the distaff, Seismic Beauty took a bit of a bobble there shortly after the start. It is a wide open battle for the lead, which is going to go to Nitrogen on the inside. Now, there goes Scylla. Scylla grabs the front, and Jin Jin goes with her. And Seismic Beauty, who just took that small bobble, is moving up on their outside and is caught 3 wide into the turn. Nitrogen is 4th. And then on the far outside, it's Dry Powder running in 5th position. In between horses, Clico is 6th. At a break of another length and a half to Darth Vader, who races on the outside of Gun Song and a ground-saving Elise Verite as they head to the backstretch. Majestic Oops is next by 3, then Regaled and Sarawak Rim. The pace is very fast here, 22.27 seconds for Scylla, who heads up the backstretch a half length in front. Jin Jin is 2nd, Seismic Beauty is 3rd, Nitrogen a strong 4th right behind them, a length and 3/4 off the lead. Then Dry Powder on the outside of Clico. 45.75 was the half mile. Gun Song is 5 lengths off the lead while down toward the rail. Darth Vader, Elise Verite, and Majestic Oops are next, and then Regaled and Sarawak Rim. But here comes Nitrogen on the outside of Scylla. And with 3 furlongs to go, Scylla responds. Scylla responds. She opens up a length. Nitrogen is now a length and a half behind. And then it's a 2.5 length gap to Clico. The others have been left behind. Coming to the top of the stretch. And Scylla turns for home in front. She's got a 2-length lead coming to the final furlong. Nitrogen is 2nd. Clico is 3rd. Regaled is put in a bit on the far outside. But Scylla's running away under Junior Alvarado. Scylla by 4, Scylla by 5. Scylla so strong in the distaff. She won it for fun. Nitrogen was 2nd, and then it was Regaled in 3rd, followed by Clico.
Scylla absolutely dominates the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff. The man from Mobridge, South Dakota, Bill Mott, had this horse perfect today, and this race changed dramatically at the start when the favorite, Seismic Beauty, stumbled a little bit out of the starting gate. Junior Alvarado took advantage with Scylla and went right to the lead.
Yeah, the complexion of this race changed dramatically right after the start when the number 8 Seismic Beauty, I don't know if she stumbled or got bumped from the outside horse, but we're going to take a really good view of it right there. She's the number 8. Didn't come out too quick, but you could see right there, took a really
She just stutter stepped
bad
out of the
bobble.
gate and then kind of crossed her legs, almost kind of put herself in kind of an awkward situation. It took her a few strides to rebound, and when she did, she kind of took off and found herself in that outside position, which she's playing catch up. She's a little bit headstrong after all that happens. But boy, for Scylla to come up with the lead and then keep on going is impressive.
And we were talking about that pre-race, how she does have enough speed to go if they wanted to, and she had that sharp 46-3 bullet half mile here at Del Mar. And I tell you what, she did it the hard way too. 22-1. 45-3 for the opening half. Some sprint races going 7/8 go that quick. To do that, to go a mile and an eighth and open up in the end, very, very impressive, dominant victory here.
If you're Jose Ortiz on nitrogen, you had to have felt on the turn that you were sitting in the absolute perfect spot. But when they turned for home, after all those fast fractions, Scylla just takes off.
And I thought Jose Ortiz rode a great race. He was right in behind, and you could see he maneuvered out right before the half-mile pole just to ensure that he wasn't going to get stopped, because I'm sure he thought that Scylla was going so quick that she would have come back, but just second best today. And how about the number 13, Regald, at 30-1? Really nice third-place effort coming to roll in the end for trainer Whit Beckman and Joe Ramos aboard.
And look at Junior Alvarado. Think about the year that he has had at Joe Talamo. Sovereignty took him on a magical run that started in the Kentucky Derby. The huge disappointment of Sovereignty having to scratch this week out of the Classic. But here he is for his main trainer, Bill Mott, and they dominate on Breeders' Cup Day in the Longines Breeders' Cup distance.
And I think for myself, Junior and Bill Mott, you have to be so happy for them. The unfortunate news of Sovereignty having a scratch and the Classic later on today, this definitely has to help them quite a bit feeling-wise.
Getting 7-1 on a horse like Scylla, that's what the Breeders' Cup is all about. The Bay 5-year-old mare by Tappet out of the First Defense mare. Close hatches, a homebred for Juddmonte, going to the winner's circle here in the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff.
Okay, well, we struck out on that one.
Second, number 1, nitrogen.
I thought about adding the 4 to my exacta box, but I'm sorry I did. I thought about keeping the 1 in there in my exacta box. Let me look at it now. I'm getting confused.
Scylla pays $17.20.
My exacta box. That's the value exacta box.
The pick 4.
Yeah, I left out nitrogen to get a little bit more value with the 7, and the 7 ended up fading badly. But
Up next, ladies and gentlemen, begins
3,
the
4,
late pick
7,
5
12.
sequence.
3,
It's the
4,
42nd
7,
running
12.
of the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
Should have left the 1 in there. Would have got me.
Changes.
Let's see, what did it
Post
pay?
time for race 8, 33 minutes.
Wait for the next click back. I didn't catch it. It didn't matter. I didn't hit it. So that's okay. The turf is next. And boy, this one should pay well. Actually, this staff didn't pay bad, considering it has a history of being fairly low payouts, but the larger field size definitely helped. So I'll take a look at the turf here, and then I'll be back. I'll leave the audio up on the track. And thanks for watching. If you're in the crowd, if you want to put a comment, use the comment. And if I see it, I'll shout it out. If you want to join, let me know. I'll put you in here. You can add your 2 cents. Give me your thoughts on the next race, the turf, or even the Classic. Okay, thanks for watching. I'll be back.
Now entering the winner's circle. The winner of the Longines Breeders' Cup Distaff, number 4, Scylla. Scylla is a 5-year-old bay mare by Tappet out of Close Hatches by First Defense. Scylla was bred in Kentucky by her owners, Juddmont Farms Incorporated. Trained by Bill Mott, your winning jockey, Junior Alvarado. As the official partner and official timekeeper of the Breeders' Cup World Championships, Longines is proud to time the much anticipated Longines Distaff race. The Swiss watchmaker is looking forward to highlighting the official watch of the event, a model from the redesigned Prima Luna collection with a blend of classic Roman numerals, lustrous dials, and meticulously executed details. This collection speaks to those who understand that genuine luxury arises from the confidence of impeccable craftsmanship. SeatGeek welcomes you to Del Mar Thoroughbred Club and the 2025 Breeders' Cup World Championships. Get tickets to horse races and other live events faster than you could say, and they're off. SeatGeek, the official ticketing partner of Breeders' Cup.
If you joined us, thank you for watching. I'm still here. I'm just kind of looking over the sheet for next race, but I'll probably be another 10 minutes before I have some info or have something to say, but I am here. If you have something to say, put it in the chat. We'll be here for the Turf and the Classic. Then we'll take a quick break, and then we'll do the last 3 races. Okay, I'll put it back on the track feed, and again, chime in on the comments if you have anything to say, if you have an opinion, or if you want to join if you want to join the stream. Nick's probably not going to be able to make it. He might shoot in for a little bit, but if you want to shoot in and join the stream for a bit, give your opinions live with the camera and a microphone, please just let me know and I'll send you the link. All right, I'll see you in a little bit. Actually, I think what I'll do right now is we'll look at some of the trends of the turf while we're waiting, because I have a little extra time. Turn the audio down there, and turf is usually a really good betting race. We have.
Thank you so much. What an incredible performance by Scylla to take the Longines.
See if there's any scratches. I don't think there is. No.
Beautiful timepieces we have.
No scratches. A field of 14 for the turf.
On behalf of Longines, congratulations on such an incredible win.
And let me turn this down just a little bit more.
This is Prince Salman bin Ahmed, grandson of Prince Khalid of Juddmont.
Okay, there. And yeah, some of the trends for the turf. Average win is about 9 to 1. You want to, if you're looking to make some money, you want to look for a 10 to 1 or more winner. Euros have won 21 of the last 26 editions of this race, 9 of the last 10, and all 3 at Del Mar, I believe. Aidan O'Brien in 36 races, in 36 entries, has 7 wins, 6 seconds, and 5 thirds. Sir Michael Stout in 15 entries, has 4 wins and 2 seconds. I also consider Charles Appleby in these races. Irish breds have won 19 times and 4 out of the last 5 years. 5 fillies and mares have won the turf, all Euros. So if there's some Euro fillies in there, you might want to consider them. Only one California-based winner in 25 years. So I'm automatically throwing out every single California-based turf entry here. The favorites don't necessarily win, but they're usually in the trifecta. There's always some type of non-U.S. horse based in the trifecta. The best prep, for the most part, history has shown that the Arc has been a good one, a good prep. It's produced over 10 turf winners. The Belmont Turf Classic is probably the next best prep as far as the U.S. races go. It has 6 winners, but they haven't had a winner since early, I think it's around 2012. So horses over 5 do not fare well in this. And I know there are a lot of Euro jockeys, but you want to use a good jockey in this race. Maneuvering around those 14 horses is important. So that's the trends. I would definitely look. The ones I would probably weigh heavy on is the Aidan O'Brien entry, which I think there's only one this year. Let me see. I think he only has one. The 8 Mini Hawk. Yes. Charles Appleby has the 10 El Cordobas, and actually Charles Appleby has the 1 Rebels Romance, the favorite, I think. So I would concentrate on an Irish bred, maybe an Aidan O'Brien or an Appleby entry, and then consider, the other Euros. So that's the trends. I'll get back to you in a few.
Rebels Romance won the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf last year at Del Mar, becoming the first winner older than age 5 to prevail. He also won the turf as a 4-year-old. Bricks and Mortar was the last American-based horse to win the turf, and his victory at Santa Anita in 2019 propelled him to Horse of the Year honors. Conduit in 2009 is the last horse to win consecutive renewals of the turf. His jockey for both wins was Ryan Moore, who shares the record for most wins in the turf with Frankie Dettori at 5.
Conduit and Precious Passion in a thriller, but Conduit's too good, and Conduit's class has pulled him through.
This is the $5 million Longines Breeders' Cup Turf.
Aidan O'Brien brings over Mini Hawk, the 3-year-old filly who did such great work in the Arc de Triomphe. And speaking of the turnaround from a race like the Arc to the Breeders' Cup Turf, what are the challenges involved in making this turnaround?
Yeah, so obviously we always let the horse tell us, really. She went to York, and then if everything was well, she was always possible for the Arc, and she came out of York well, and that's why she went to the Arc. And obviously she went to the Arc then, and if she came out of that well, this was going to be her next possibility. So all the things went well. She's off-handed, straightforward, healthy filly so far, and everyone around her does a great job keeping her fresh and well. And obviously they're not all like that, but the good ones are usually more natural, and they're able for a lot more, and they have a big constitution. And so delighted with her so far.
How about the ground?
Yeah, she's a very good mover, so we always would have thought that she would have liked nice ground. we would have been worried about soft ground, even though her first few runs were in easy ground. And as the ground got quicker, then we weren't sure. But she went to York then on fast ground and seemed very comfortable. Got a little bit slow on the arc, but yeah, still ran well.
Happy with her energy since she's arrived here to California?
Yes, very happy. Yeah, everything is very good. She's doing everything right. Her weight is good and her well-being. No, yeah, couldn't be happier, really.
Good luck, Aiden.
Thanks, appreciate it. Thanks. Thank you.
Horses who have shown up from the Prix de l'Arc de Triomphe that did not win but showed up here in the Breeders' Cup Turf have had quite a bit of success, and trying to join that list is Mini Hawk. Welcome back to the Players Show here on our desk just off the paddock. I'm Todd Schrupp, very pleased to be with Christina Blacker, Simon Bray, and Rishi Prasad. We do want to take a moment to update you on a situation back in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. As we have highlighted over these last 2 days, and it is true of every racetrack across the country, the health and well-being of our equine athletes and the men and women who ride them is always of paramount importance. There is a veterinarian team here that is with these participants throughout their week leading up to 2 championship days of racing. Back in the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint, you may recall She's Quality was eased shortly into that race. That was done by jockey Colin Keane out of an abundance of caution. The Breeders' Cup veterinarian team attended to this She's Quality almost immediately and was with her as she went onto the equine ambulance and was taken to the backstretch here at Del Mar. That is the situation with She's Quality being attended to after the Breeders' Cup Turf Sprint. Okay, looking ahead to the Breeders' Cup Turf, we have some remarkable history that could be made here by Rebels Romance, trying to win an astonishing 3rd Breeders' Cup Turf.
Yeah, I mean, remarkable, really. Not 3 consecutive, 2022, 2024, and now hoping to get it done this year. Rebels Romance down to the inside. And Rishi, I mean, look, Rebels Romance is a very good horse, made $14 million, but this is going up against Mini Hawk. Is probably the toughest task he's had in quite some time, right?
I think he's up against it today. As brilliant a horse as he has been throughout his career, this is a huge ask against. This is a very deep race. I think this is one of the best races of the whole meeting. Rebels Romance, it'll be an incredible success were he to win. In fairness to him, even though this is a tough test, this is a test that he's passed a couple of times, and quite an incredible turnaround for a horse who at one time was being prepared for a campaign on dirt. Back in the day, he had the Belmont Stakes in his sights at one point, was being prepared as a Dubai World Cup horse, but when he went back to turf, his career turned round significantly.
Christina, you're late to the bandwagon, but welcome to the Rebels Romance bandwagon.
Yes, a huge fan of this horse. And in fact, he's one of the horses that I was most looking forward to over championship weekend. Just so in awe of the campaign that he has had, the job that Charlie Appleby has done with him. Godolphin have taken this horse all over the world, and he has conquered every international stage that he's ended up on. Yes, Mini Hawk, you know, as far as the form goes, it looks like he does need to step up to match what she showed, especially last time out in her 2nd place finish in the Arc. But he's already proven himself over this course. He's proven himself over the tight turns. He's drawn inside, which I think is a benefit for him. This is a 3-turn race. He likes to be forwardly placed. And the way that he wins his races is to be right up there and on the pace. And then at the end of a 1.5 mile journey, he still kicks for home like the milers do. He's an exceptional marathon turf horse.
Exceptional is Charlie Appleby. When he comes to the Breeders' Cup, he's obviously got Rebels Romance, the horse you're looking at. He also has the 10 El Cordobes, and with Charlie Appleby is Joaquin Hunt.
Here, trainer Charlie Appleby, who has 2 horses in the Breeders' Cup Turf, including a 2-time Breeders' Cup winner. We'll start there with Rebels Romance. What is it about your horse at age 7 where he's been able to hold his form at the highest level through all these years?
It's just his enthusiasm and his ability, needless to say. But yeah, as I've said in many a past interview now, you know, as he gets up and he just shows the enthusiasm, AM and PM, as we've seen there. You know, training in the morning, he just goes about his business as he has done over the past years. But, you know, more importantly, he's showing it in the afternoon still. And as long as he's doing that, then long may it continue. You know, full credit to the team at home who've looked after him so well to keep him in this condition to be able to turn up at these events.
Last year in the Breeders' Cup, wide draw. This year down on the rail, what sort of trip should he work out from the rail draw?
Look, I think as we've seen with Rebels Romance, you can put him anywhere, really. We know what his run style is. He just gets into rhythm and goes forward. Now, whether he's on the lead or whether he's just close to the lead, that's where he'd be. Needless to say, we don't want to be parked up at the back. But from that draw, you'd imagine that Will's going to have to use that draw, and then thereafter work it out of what the pace angles are looking like.
El Cordoba is going to be your other runner in here. At minimum, what does he have to do to at least turn the tables on Rebels Romance?
Yeah, he's got a bit defined, and I've always felt that as well. He's here to run his own race, needless to say. From stall 10 there, he'll be ridden patiently, and that's the way to ride the horse. I think Flavien rode him in similar sort of style there in the Sword Dancer. So Billy will be very much riding around for luck. But if Billy can just get him into contention there and going into that last turn within shot of the leaders, then the one thing the horse will do, he'll finish well.
Thank you, Charlie. Good luck to you and the team.
Pleasure. Thanks very much.
Looks like Rebels Romance, Simon, along with El Cordobas, have some similar headgear here.
Yeah, they do. They got the hood on there. That'll come off, I think, though, when they go to the starting gate. This is just for the preliminaries to keep the noise down. I like El Cordobas, actually. I mean, Rishi probably laughing at me here because on European form he's not as strong, but I think he's got a good closing kick, and I think the pace is going to be a little more honest than what it was at Woodbine.
I wouldn't laugh at all.
Classic.
I wouldn't laugh at all at you, Simon.
Oh.
And in fairness, the horse has improved enormously. At the start of the season, he was racing in Meydan in handicap company, and then he's progressed out of that to produce in Europe a really good performance, beating Wimbledon Hawkeye, who obviously reopposes today in the Princess of Wales Stakes. And his subsequent 2 runs in the States have suggested that he's continued that improvement, but not at the level of his stable companion Rebels Romance. And I think the way Charlie Appleby has mentioned to Joaquin about how he's going to be ridden suggests that obviously they think the best way for him is that he'll just try and pick up the pieces, to coin a cliche.
There's a look at the German-bred Goliath. He has a win over Rebels Romance, but it was some time ago, July of last year in the King George. And catching up with the man behind Resolute Racing, John Stewart, is Mike Joyce.
Resolute Racing's John Stewart joining me here. Goliath with the funny goose step, the string halt. Have you ever seen that before?
With him, of course, yeah. But no, it's definitely something unusual, and I think it's good that he was in the race because it's brought the attention to everybody about that issue. So, no, super excited to be here.
Tell me about how he's been training, your discussions with your trainer, and how he's been taken to his new environs here at Del Mar.
Well, he's been training great. We think he's back in his top form after coming out of the win at Baden-Baden. And Francis and I, he knew this was one of my top targets. And we considered it last year, but went to the Japan Cup, and so we prioritized him to come here. It's not often that you have a horse like Goliath that can run in a race like this and have a real chance. And so we wanted to come and take the chance, and seems like he traveled really well here. He's really relaxed, and I think if he gets out, if you see him on the lead coming into the first turn, you better watch out. If he's in that first group of horses, I think he's going to be dangerous.
You got in this game to compete at the highest levels. What would a win in the Breeders' Cup do for you?
Oh, it's the most important thing. It's the biggest target for me. And for me, the turf, about 80% of my program's turf, so this is a bigger race for me than the Classic.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Okay, Simon, for those who are not familiar, they might be standing around the paddock going, what is this walk here from Goliath? It's called the string halt condition. Am I correct in understanding it's a neurological condition?
Correct. It's very, very uncommon, actually. It's not very rare. It can happen in any breed of horse. You don't see it very often. But what viewers are seeing is a neurological condition that affects the nerve signals to the muscles, but not the pain receptors. So there's no pain involved here. And you're going to notice when this horse gets out on the track, it's much less apparent. At a faster gait, this will just disappear. It's only at the walk and sometimes at the trot that you see it. So this is a horse that's traveled all over the world, running Group 1 races all over the world, and been examined by veterinarians all over the world. Had tests, PET scans. It doesn't affect anything about the way he can run.
And Christina, to that point, we're talking about the Breeders' Cup veterinarian team here. They were actually sent all that information ahead of time, including videos of Goliath, so they could watch all week.
Yeah, and this is a team, and this isn't protocol that's new. This is going back several years, especially with regard to the international competitors. You want to start to have some veterinary background, some paperwork, some videos done weeks, months in advance of the Breeders' Cup. If you're going to travel all the way here, you want to know that you are 100% fit to compete. And the veterinarians want to have a little bit of a line, like any patient, any doctor seeing a patient, having that medical history helps you make current decisions.
Rishi, have they traveled all this way to have a chance or just to enjoy the Breeders' Cup?
Well, I really like Mini Hawk, but this is the horse I fear most, Goliath. I feel that if he returns to the form of his King George win that you referred to a moment ago, Todd, from 2024, that's good enough to win the race. And his trainer feels he's back in that form, and I really respect Francis Graffard.
Field emerging through the tunnel out of the paddock here at Del Mar, eventually going to step on the Jimmy Durante turf course, listed as firm to go 1.5 miles. It is the Longines Breeders' Cup turf. And a little bit of organized chaos here as they come out. There is Rebels Romance to start off the post parade.
The global globetrotting Rebels Romance, who looks to make history today and become a 3-time winner of the Breeders' Cup Turf. He was your winner of the Turf Classic Grade 1 event, Belmont at Aqueduct, as his most recent prep race.
Here's Goliath with that string halt gate. You can see it clearly there on the screen, coming off a win in the Grosser Price von Baden. That race, the King George, over a year ago, he beat Blue Stocking, Arc winner, and he beat Rebels Romance, who's in here today.
Here's the 3-year-old Amalok, who won at Royal Ascot earlier in the season on very fast ground. He went up in trip last time in the Irish St. Ledger, finished behind Al Riffa, who runs in the Melbourne Cup next week. I think the ground will really suit him today.
We'll get a look at the 4 in a moment. Here is the 5, Rebel Red, who was shuffled back a little bit in that Turf Classic. I didn't think he got the opportunity to make his run. Overall, he's a 4-time winner in 15 starts. Cherie DeVoe trains Irad Ortiz Jr. in the saddle.
He's been behind a couple of these, and he's got to turn the tables. Wimbledon Hawkeye, we talk about, he won the Nashville Derby, and of course, he was the horse that was second to El Cordobez in the Prince of Wales at Newmarket earlier this summer.
Here's 7, Salawi, who's really improved in recent times. He won a handicap at Windsor back in May. You thought that maybe he would progress and become quite a useful horse as the season gone on. But somehow he managed to win a Group 1, a Grade 1 last time out, and maybe he's got much more to come.
Here she is, the 3-year-old filly sensation, the daughter of Frankel Mini Hawk, second beaten ahead in the Arc just a few weeks ago. She is 5 for 7 lifetime for Aidan O'Brien.
And then the 9 Gold Phoenix. This is a great local story for the Little Red Feather Group, running in his 4th Breeders' Cup Turf race. He was 4th in this race last year at a massive number. Look for him late.
An improving horse, even though he's a big price, is number 10, El Cordobez. Like Rebels Romance, trained by Charlie Appleby. I expect him to be ridden cold and try and finish off late.
Here is the 12 horse, Tawny Port, on your screen. He hasn't won a race in the last couple of years, but he's come close. Second beaten in nose in the Canadian International, last out second in the Turf Cup at Kentucky Downs just prior to that.
Yeah, and towards the outside, a couple of long shots. We're just trying to find this post parade out of order a little bit. The 13 Hill Road will be next at 90 to 1. That price kind of says it all. There is Hill Road. David Egan riding for his retained client there, Ammo Racing.
And we have Ethical Diamond, trained by the best jumps trainer in the world, Willie Mullins, who's also very capable with his flat horses. Ethical Diamond last ran in the Ebor Handicap, which is normally a race that you'd consider horses for the Melbourne Cup rather than the British Cup Turf.
And redistricting, who we missed in the post parade, there is warming up without the pony. Willie Mullins always wins like the Queen Alexandra Royal Ascot, right? Isn't he good for the 2.5 mile flat race?
Yeah, he's always a shoe-in for those races at Royal Ascot.
And that is your post parade, your field of 14 that will contest the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. What about the trip they take here, Christina? We've seen some 1.5 mile races during the summer meet here. We also see it during the Bing Crosby season at Del Mar. The 3 turns, where's usually the critical point in this race?
Yeah, so it's important to note that they do start on the back stretch, and as you say, a 3-turn race. I think you don't want to end up hung out wide around any of the turns, really. We're going a long way, and you want to make sure to be able to save some ground. A Rebels Romance from the inside post, I think he'll be forwardly placed today. I think based on that warm-up from redistricting, Flavian Pratt might have some speed tactics on his mind as well. But for horses like Mini Hawk and others, you just want to tuck in, get some cover, and as the race starts to really accelerate pace-wise when they turn for home the second time, that's when you want to make your move.
Pick 5 pool about to go past $2.5 million. 6 minutes away from the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Here's Scott Hazelton.
Well, it is a treat to have the 19-time Irish National Hunt Champion trainer in Willie Mullins, also a trainer who's trained well over 100 winners at Cheltenham here at the Breeders' Cup. How did this plan come together in bringing Ethical Diamond here to compete on this stage?
We had a choice of going down to Melbourne or coming here, and my owner already has a horse in Melbourne for the Melbourne Cup on Tuesday next. So we said we'd take a little diversion on the way over and come to California with this fellow.
How have you changed his routine or training to get him ready for the difference in racing here in the United States?
I didn't really change much. We just practiced. We bought a new bell for our starting stalls because every time I've had a few horses here before and they get a fright when the bell goes off. And that's really all we did. Otherwise, we're just going to stick to our own game plan. And I think the American type style of racing will suit him because, you know, they go very fast early and I need to get him settled early on, and that's plan A. And if that works, then we have a good chance maybe of getting into some of the lower prize money. I don't think we're good enough to get into the first three, but you never know. You know, there's big prize winners happening every day.
Great to have you here, Willie. Good luck.
Delighted to be here. Cheers. Bye.
Thank you. Can I slip away to the window?
Long shot in this race, but not quite as big of a long shot as that one. This is what you need to do if you want to take advantage of the money back special in your FanDuel racing account. Head on over, make sure you've opted in. I'm going to try to beat all the favorites in here. I'm going to try to beat Goliath. I'm going to try to beat Rebels Romance. I'm going to try to beat Mini Hawk, who's a 3-year-old filly. Hey, a 3-year-old has won this race 2 out of the last 4 years. I'm going with the 3-year-old gelding. That is Amalok. He is one of 2 horses that actually raced at a longer distance last time out. You would think 1.5 miles is as far as you're going to go. No, he raced 1 3/4 miles last time out, and that was his only loss. So he's never lost at this distance or anything shorter. 10-1 right now on Amalok. That's my play for the money back special.
Here's Rafe Beckett, who has the 3, Amalok, who started his career perfect, a perfect 5 for 5, going into the St. Ledger, suffered his first defeat, but that was his first run in 3 months. Was that by design?
To get beaten? No, but it was his, the first run in 3 months was on purpose, yeah. He took a little while to get over Royal Ascot. That was a tough race that day for a horse who'd only run 4 times. You know, he left it all there.
Money
so
back.
The idea was to always go to the Irish St. Ledger and then come here if it worked out.
How's he handling the parade ring so far?
Very well. I've been very happy with him all week, and he's looked better and better all week, and he's, you know, saddling went very well. So, yeah, we're in a good place.
Good luck to you and the team.
Thank you. Thank you.
Pick 5 pool now approaching $3 million, part of your wagering menu here in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Getting a good look at Amalok, also a very good look at the outstanding 3-year-old filly, Mini Hawk. Last pick 5 opportunity of the Breeders' Cup Championship meet. Christina, how would you approach this pick 5?
We'll take a look at the ticket. I've sent it in so many days ago when we did the handicapping show. I need to remind myself. Went light in here with the 2 class horses. Mini Hawk on your screen, the 8, and then my top selection is going to be Rebels Romance. If you wanted to include some others, you know, as Rebels Romance is the son of Dubawi. We do have other offspring of Dubawi in here, like the 7, who's a big 80-1. I think he is going to love this course. So if you're looking to add to it, you can certainly do that. We'll go 1, 5, and 8 in the next race in the Breeders' Cup Classic. That's Fierceness from the inside post, Forever Young, and then my top selection is Mind Frame. Oftentimes, I think we get a bigger result in the Breeders' Cup Mile. Those flying finishes, you have some prices in there, 2, 3, 7, and 11. Top pick for me will be Rhetorical, the 11 for Will Walden, who exits a win in the Turf Mile at Keeneland last time out. I will single Nisos in the Dirt Mile and then go deep in the Filly and Mare Turf if we get that far to close it out.
Now just 2 minutes away, the start of this final pick 5 and one of the most anticipated races of this Championship Saturday, the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. Once again, Scott Hazelton.
Billy Koch, Little Red Feather, Gold Phoenix, once again shows up at the Breeders' Cup. 4 years in a row. Yeah. If I would have told you 4 years ago that this would be where you're at with this horse, what would you have said to me, Billy?
We must have been very lucky. No, we have a great team behind this horse. Phil D'Amato and his whole staff. All our partners at Little Red Feather, they're so supportive of everything we do and giving this horse breaks and letting him come along as he needs to come along, and he's doing great right now. We just peaked at the only 25-1. Like, that's an underlay. This is great. People are respecting him.
Well, you have to. I mean, you look at his record here at Del Mar. What is it about Del Mar that brings out his best?
You know, he's a surfer. No, he just loves it down there. I don't know. Some horses thrive. It's a very big horse for course type place. For those of you out there, you know, who gamble, and he loves it here. This is his home course, and if he gets a good trip, you know, he finished 4th last year. He finished 4th the year before, and if he can improve on that a little bit, he'll be right there.
Good luck, Billy.
Thank you, Scotty.
I mean, it is a remarkable record for him to have won the same race during the Del Mar Summer Meet for 4 consecutive times. It's a home course advantage, and he didn't run terrible last year.
He was 4th last year.
Yeah.
And I think it also speaks to, and we heard this from the interview with Willie Mullins, you know, the Breeders' Cup is the strongest global brand in racing. And even if you are going to be a long shot, it's an honor to be here. It's an honor to compete and to come and bring a horse here. And Gold Phoenix has brought his connections here 4 years in a row, providing some thrills just to be a part of it. Rebels Romance is the race lens angle here. We all know how well Charlie Appleby does in the U.S. in Grade 1 races, and a huge part of that is just choosing the right types to bring here. Those horses that can be forward, those horses that will appreciate the faster ground. He's a 2-time winner of this race, proven over the course, and I like the inside post for Rebels Romance.
It has never happened in the storied history of the Breeders' Cup.
We're going with 1, 2, 4, 8, 10 in an exacta box. Those are my top horses. 1, 2, 4, 8, 10. We're playing an exacta box with all of those, and then we're doing a try 1, 2, 4, 8, 10 over 1, 2, 3, 4, 8, 9, 10 in second and third. Good luck if you're wagering. My money back specials are 1, 8, and 10. Good luck.
And the horses have reached the gate for the Breeders' Cup turf. Rebels Romance and Gold Phoenix are the first two to move in. Here's Goliath and the filly Mini Hawk. Amalak and El Cordobés moving into line. Here's redistricting into the gate. Rebel Red and Rashabar. Wimbledon Hawkeye. Tawnyport moving in. Hill Road. Salawi second last. We've got 13 of them in line here for the Longines Breeders' Cup turf as Ethical Diamond is making his way up to the starting gate to complete the line here. Ethical Diamond just a tad reluctant to come forward, but he's done it now. They're all in line. We are ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup turf. And it's Rashabar who goes out to the early lead. Salawi goes right with him. These two out to the front together. Mini Hawk is close. And now redistricting comes through with Rebels Romance and Goliath to the inside. Wimbledon Hawkeye takes back behind them, and Amalak is down toward the rail. 3 back to Rebel Red, El Cordobés, and Tawnyport. Then Hill Road to the inside, Ethical Diamond, and Gold Phoenix is last of them all, and he's 15 lengths off of front-running Salawi, who went 23.22 for the first quarter. So going 1.5 miles, that's moving right along here. Salawi up top, the leader by 2.5. Rashabar, the closest pursuer, in second. 2-time turf winner Rebels Romance is a tucked in third on the inside. Farther out, Goliath is in fourth, and in between horses redistricting. Mini Hawk is outside, and then Amalak, who's down toward the rail. After that, Wimbledon Hawkeye, middle of the pack with 1 lap to go. Rebel Red's on the outside of Wimbledon Hawkeye. El Cordobés is next. Then it's 2 lengths more back to Hill Road, who is just ahead of Ethical Diamond at Tawny Port. Gold Phoenix biding his time through a 47.53 half mile. Into the turn they go, Salawi. All the way so far. The leader by a length and a half over Goliath. Rebels Romance is third on the inside. Mini Hawk outside in fourth. Rashabar fifth. Amalak is sixth toward the inside. 6 lengths off the lead, just ahead of Rebel Red Redistricting and El Cordobés. A length and a half back to Wimbledon Hawkeye, and then Hill Road, Ethical Diamond, Tawny Port, the trailer Gold Phoenix. 111.99 for 3/4 as Salawi heads up the backstretch in the Breeders' Cup Turf. The leader by a length and a half over Goliath. Mini Hawk and Rebels Romance are side by side. Rebels Romance getting an inside trip. Mini Hawk's going 3 wide. Around the far turn, Salawi, Goliath, and Mini Hawk. Rebels Romance needs a place to go behind them. Rebel Red has circled up on the far outside. On the rail, it is Amalak, and then Redistricting, and they're into the stretch, and the filly takes charge. It is Mini Hawk who comes off the turn in front. Rebels Romance comes to take her, and Ethical Diamond is charging down the middle of the turf course and goes by them all. Ethical Diamond has taken the lead, and at 25-1, Ethical Diamond wins the turf. And then it was Rebels Romance second. El Cordobés was third, followed by Amalak and Gold Phoenix, and a final time of 2:25.45, a Del Mar course record.
A track record and an astonishing feat here by Ethical Diamond and the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. And how about during the interview when the trainer said we might be able to be third? This horse went from 50-1 down to 25-1. Rishi Prasad, how are you going to explain this to your friends back home?
I cannot believe what I've just seen. Ethical Diamond, a horse who's won over hurdles back home in Europe, who won the Ebor handicap last time out, has beaten some of the best mile-and-a-half horses in the world. Mini Hawk takes the lead from Goliath, turning for home, and Ethical Diamond has swept round the outside as well. Clear sailing for Dylan Brown McMonagle, the new Irish champion jockey. What an incredible success this is. My goodness, Willie Mullins, I thought he was amazing. This guy can walk on water.
Why are you here to run this horse? I was going to run the Melbourne Cup, but we have another one, so it's a layover. We just took the Breeders' Cup Turf.
Maybe Australia got lucky. But Simon, as a former trainer, can you put into terms for us the difference in the disciplines of being a horse that goes from the flats to the hurdles back and forth?
I mean, it's extremely rare to see, and especially at this level. You just do not see it. I mean, nobody attempts it. Steeplechase racing here is on the minority. We see some back east, but this is a major, major upset. No one could have figured that this horse could take down Rebels Romance, take down Mini Hawk. I mean, just what a performance. And the turn of foot
and
that he
give
showed.
them all a head start as they turn for home. On top of that, all 3 of the top betting choices were in front of him.
Hurdles horses, steeplechase, you don't see them quicken like this. They just keep going. This horse exploded late.
Extraordinary performance. I'm telling you, I cannot believe what I've just seen.
Well, look at that. We got 4 out of the 5 spots are Irish breds, and then 1 other Euro. So I should have just boxed them all. There were 7, but I had to take some shortcuts somewhere. I didn't have Ethical Diamond. Like you said, this guy used to jump.
This is one of the most remarkable wins.
I doubt very many people had this one.
Simon, a lot of people point to our Kong.
But yeah, the trends of Irish breds holds up. There were 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There were 6 Irish breds, and 4 of them show up in the top 5 spots, with the other being a Great Britain bred.
Yeah, I mean, a famous handicap race up at York, a staying race. And again, that wouldn't lead to a Breeders' Cup Turf victory.
Absolutely not.
No.
Absolutely
This makes
not.
no sense.
When Mini Hawk won
But that's why it's horse
the
racing.
Yorkshire Oaks at the same meeting that Ethical Diamond won.
Yeah.
I mean, everyone was thinking, we've seen a potential ARC winner, horse that will go on maybe to the Breeders' Cup in Mini Hawk. And we thought Ethical Diamond might run in the Melbourne Cup and then go back to Cheltenham for the Cheltenham Festival over hurdles, maybe over fences. Who knows? That will be the future for Ethical Diamond. I am stunned. Ethical Diamond has won the Breeders' Cup.
This horse, after this victory, They won't go to Cheltenham, will they?
Come on. That'd be
do
great.
you think? What do you think? Or is it a campaign that with Royal Ascot?
Hey, quickly, before we leave, because we're in stunned astonishment, the winner, Christina, credit to Rebels Romance and the gallant second here today.
100%. And he was bottled up a little bit along the inside. He didn't quite make the early lead, and I thought he had to idle a little bit as they turned for home, forced his way out. A gallant second place finish from Rebels Romance, who just shows up each and every time. Ethical Diamond has taken them to the Royal Ascot Winner Circle and to the Breeders' Cup Winner Circle. What a racehorse.
This is why we love sport in general. A chance to see something you've never seen before. You just saw it here in the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf. What a performance by Ethical Diamond.
Number 14, Ethical Diamond was first. Second, number 1, Rebels Romance. Third, number 10, El Cordobés. Fourth was number 3, Amalok. And fifth was number 9, Gold Phoenix. 14, 1, 10, 3, 9. Your top 5 this race now official. Ethical Diamond pays $57.40 to win. Up next, ladies and gentlemen, is race 9, start of the late pick 4. It's the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic. $7 million the purse at 1.25 miles on the dirt. Scratch number 6, Sovereignty. 34 minutes until the Longines Breeders' Cup Classic.
Wow, what a shocker. Well, congrats to the connections. There was no way I was going to have Ethical Diamond on my list, but so I'll just take the shot, and I'll take the defeat and move on to the next race, the Classic. We'll watch the Classic, and then we will take a short break and then come back for the final 3 races. The Classic for me, it's going to be more of a watch than a wager, mostly because I've lost the last 3 races and I'm trying to keep my profit. But I've got plenty of time, but I'll give my thoughts on the Classic in a little bit. I'll go ahead and let the track audio feed continue, and then I'll come back with some thoughts on the Classic, and then we'll take another short 15-minute breaks and come back again for the last 3
winner's
races.
circle. The winner of the Longines
Thanks
Breeders'
again
Cup
for
Turf
watching.
of 2025. Number 14, Ethical Diamond. Ethical Diamond is a dark bear brown gelding, a 5-year-old by a Todd out of Pearl Diamond by Arion. Ethical Diamond was bred in Ireland by Mr. W.J. Kennedy, now owned by HOS Syndicate, trained by William Mullins, and your winning jockey, Dylan McGonigal. Now in the winner's circle are His Excellency Ali Al-Ali, CEO and board member of Dubai Racing Club, and Erwin Sharpie, head of racing operations and international relations for Dubai Racing Club. They are presenting a special ribbon to the Longines Breeders' Cup Turf winning connections, which gives them guaranteed entry to the $6 million Group 1 Longines Dubai Shima Classic at Meydan Racecourse on March 28th. Congratulations, and see you in Dubai. As the official partner and official timekeeper of the Breeders' Cup World Championships, Longines is proud to time the famous Longines turf race. The Swiss watchmaker is looking forward to highlighting the official watch of the event, a model from the redesigned Prima Luna collection with a blend of classic Roman numerals, lustrous dials, and meticulously executed details. This collection speaks to those who understand that genuine luxury arises from the confidence of impeccable craftsmanship. John Deere has been a longtime supporter of the equine industry. All Breeders' Cup breeders and owners are qualified to receive major John Deere discounts on select equipment, including lawn and garden tractors, compact utility tractors, Gator utility vehicles, commercial mowing equipment, and much more. For details on the exclusive equine member discounts provided on John Deere equipment, talk to your local dealer or call 866-678-4289.
Longines. Elegance is an attitude.
Douglas trusts Prevagen for his brain, and this is his story.
I'm Douglas, and I'm from Chicago. I was looking for something specifically for my brain. That's when I chose Prevagen. And the confidence I've received from Prevagen allows me to continue to do those things that I love. I have been taking Prevagen for more than 9 years, and it really works for me.
Prevagen has been the #1 selling brain supplement nationwide for over 10 years.
In this sport, it takes just one special horse and a lot of people that believe in him. By Champion Arrogant from the family of Broodmare of the Year, Better Than Honor, rose to prominence in the Grade 3 Peter Pan, displayed power in the Grade 1 Belmont, cemented his 3-year-old championship in the Grade 1 Travers, defeating a champion 2-year-old, Kentucky Derby, and Preakness winners.
And the 8th award goes to Arcangelo.
Arcangelo, standing at Lane's End.
Sierra Leone swept to victory in last year's Longines Breeders' Cup Classic at Del Mar, leading a trifecta of 3-year-olds who competed in the Kentucky Derby. The last time a 3-year-old won the Classic in consecutive years was 2016, when Arrowgate's determined finish gave him the win over Derby winner California Chrome. In 1987, the previous 2 Kentucky Derby winners squared off in the Classic, where Ferdinand and jockey Bill Shoemaker held sway against the late charge of Ali Sheba.
The 2 Derby winners hit the wire together. Ferdinand and Ali Sheba.
This is the $7 million Longines Breeders' Cup Classic.
The centerpiece of the meeting is up next, the $7 million Breeders' Cup Classic. And here's a quick look at the silks of the competitors with 24 minutes until post time to make your decisions. Of course, earlier this week, the Scratch of Sovereignty, your Kentucky Derby winner, after spiking a fever, he will not go postward, but a classic edition of runners will line up in the starting gate here in just a few moments' time. Christina, Simon, Joe, Caton with you here as horses are behind us in the paddock. Caton, I'll start with you. I'm all struck already taking a look at these horses behind us.
One after another that looks in tip-top condition, beautiful specimens, each in their own right, and with credentials. Really, any one of these horses you could make a case for to capture the glory.
What you're seeing in the paddock is representing the cream of the crop in our business. And, you know, what you see in person represents the fact that this is a solid field top to bottom in the Breeders' Cup Classic. I thought Forever Young made a very impressive appearance, personally, Christina, walking around the paddock.
He's on the board at 3-1 right now, as is our current favorite, Sierra Leone, the defending champion in this race. He won the Breeders' Cup Classic in 2024 right here over this course. And Simon, a big part of what is making this race so special and so dynamic is the decision by several owners to bring these horses back at 4 years old.
Yeah, Fierceness in particular, that's a horse probably in times past and under a different ownership group you might not have seen coming back here this year. But Mike Rapoli had one thing on his mind. It was to come back and win this race.
Yeah, I can't wait to see them hook up again. Fierceness and Sierra Leone both finishing 1-2 in last year's Classics. Fierceness, who I thought ran a game second last year, next to that hot pace. I just cannot wait for this race.
Hall of Famer Todd Pletcher, very busy, represented by multiple runners in this field. Michael Joyce caught up with him moments ago.
Hall of Fame trainer Todd Pletcher with me as we talk about his 3 charges here in the Breeders' Cup Classic. From the inside out, Fierceness, we know what he's capable of. You know, one of the criticism from him over the years has been that he's not consistent, but I feel like he's been a mark of consistency as an older horse. How do you assess how he's matured?
I think he's matured really well. I think he's become more versatile in the way he can run and gives Johnny options as far as, you know, how he wants to ride him the early part of the race.
Let's talk about the 2 horses that come out of the Jockey Club Gold. First, Antiquarian, because I don't think he gets enough credit for winning that race. How has he been doing it? And talk about his progression through his last several races.
He's a horse we always felt like would get better as he got older and the distance is stretched out, which has proven to be the case this year. I think he's steadily on the rise, and his last race was his best race, but like you said, it was a little bit overlooked because of all the commotion that went on, but it was still a very good performance.
As far as mind frame, not being able to run a true race, I know you were concerned about what he got out of it, running around the track without a jockey, but since then, how has he trained?
He's trained super, yeah. I mean, you know, we looked at it and said, do we want to try to squeeze a race in between or stick to our original game plan of training up to the Classic? And we felt like this was gave us our best chance today.
Best of luck.
Thank you.
Good luck.
You know, Caton, we've talked so much about just this field in general and what an excellent group it is to line up in the starting gate this year, but I don't think we've given enough attention to the accomplishment of Todd Pletcher to bring 3 top-class horses here, all of which have an excellent chance to win.
Up until a couple of weeks ago, he was looking at potentially at having 4 runners. over a quarter of the field when all is said and done. To have that many top horses coming off preps that would earn the right to run in the Classic is a remarkable accomplishment in its own right. But also fascinating to see that horses like Fierceness, who have been campaigning since last year, are able to be in this tip-top condition.
Quick look at Antiquarian there on screen. One of the Todd Pletcher charges. He is 20-1 right now. Here's the 8, 6-1 on Mindframe. Let's go back into the paddock with Scott.
Well, trainer Chad Brown back at it again here in the Breeders' Cup Classic with his returning champion in Sierra Leone, as well as Contrary thinking. What will be the plan of attack here today, Chad?
Well, Contrary hopefully go out to the lead. Speed's playing good today, so hopefully he breaks a little better and gets out there and gets an honest pace going and see how far he can take it for a piece. And then with Sierra Leone, it's not really going to take him out of his game. Of course, it's a little discouraging seeing how the track's been playing. It seems like inside speed's been very, very strong. It's pretty obvious. But, you know, everyone's running on the same track, so we just have to do the best we can. I'm not going to take him out of his game, and hopefully Flavien can have him just a touch closer, and hopefully Sierra cooperates and makes his move a little sooner.
Over the last couple of years, 13 runs for Sierra Leone. Is he one of these types of horses that you can always rely on to at least make a run late into the race? Is he that reliable for you?
Yeah, like you said, he's with his record, how many times he's run, he's never gone off the board, and he's really mostly just been first or second every start, no matter where we've run him. He takes his racetrack with him. He's been against biased tracks before, and he's performed well. He's just a great horse, so he's going to have to come with his best today.
How would you compare him from a physical perspective, training perspective, campaign perspective versus last year coming into this year?
He looks just as good, if not better. He looks fabulous, as you'll see in a moment when he walks in here. That last workout he had last week up in Saratoga is the best I've seen all year from him. I think he's coming in, like I said, equally, if not better than last year.
Good luck today, Chad.
Thank you, sir.
I think the concern you could hear in the interview there is the way the track is playing. You know, I hate to bring a track bias up only over a 2 days, day and a half of racing. But last year's race, obviously, he got the table set for him, 44 and change fractions that you would see in a Breeders' Cup sprint race, not a Breeders' Cup Classic. But clearly there would be some concern today with what we've seen. I mean, Scylla went gate to wire, prime example, and the Phillies version of this. She went gate to wire. You've got to be close. Maybe he can overcome it. And you heard Chad say, hopefully he can lay a little closer today.
Yeah, that is a great point too, Simon. I can't imagine him going 44-4 in this year's rendition of the Classic. But nonetheless, Chad said it. He couldn't be doing any better. And we watched him all week, Simon, on the work show. His gallops, I mean, a horse as far as balance and the way he moves, I don't think could be doing any better.
I agree.
That 44 and change half last year was the fastest half mile in Breeders' Cup Classic history.
Yes.
That set the table for his late closing kick. Joe, I'm curious, what do you think we're going to see to the half here from Contrary Thinking? And is that a threat to a horse like Fierceness, who's very fast in his own right, even at the mile and a quarter distance?
Yeah, Fierceness is quick, and granted, he is drawing the rail again, which he drew in the Pacific Classic when he won, and we all know he kind of ducked in at the start there. Hopefully, he doesn't do that again. But I would have to think he's going to be forward, and Johnny's going to, use him a little bit just to get forward position. As far as Contrary Thinking, who should be in front, I mean, if you just look on his form, the fastest he's ever gone was his last race in the Jockey Club Gold Cup, going 46-4. I mean, even if they ask him pretty good, I still think it's going to be a solid pace. I would have to think 46 and change.
Back into the paddock with Scott.
Baeza being sent out by John Sheriffs here in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And how have you approached this season with this 3-year-old?
Race by race, and just trying to time it and space them well for him.
You've gotten improvement, it seems, every step of the way. Was that to be expected?
Well, you hope for that. You never know. But he's proven himself over and over again and then has improved.
What does he need to do today, stepping up against these older horses?
Oh, he needs a lot of luck. A lot of things have to happen well in these races. I always said when you're in a Grade 1 race, you need something to happen in the race to put your horse in a good advantage where the jockey then can help him get to the finish line.
Good luck today, John.
Thank you.
Simon, yesterday, Hector Berrios won his first Breeders' Cup with Super Corridora. He will be aboard Baeza. Talk about the progression that you've seen from this horse just throughout the calendar year, and then how well Berrios seems to fit him.
I think both of those are exactly correct. Those statements are correct. This is a horse that has really absolutely mimics John Sheriff's program. He debuted on the grass going 2 turns. That clearly wasn't intent to win then. That was just to give the horse a nice introduction. He was always going to go on the dirt. And in typical John Scherf's fashion, they improved from race to race to race. And he deserved that win. I mean, he finally got away from sovereignty. He finally got away from journalism, and he got the win last time out. But he is tipping his hand. He's coming in this race the best he has all year, I think.
We keep seeing the favorites roll change hands in here. Fierceness 7-2 right now. Forever Young, the 5-horse at 3-1 at the moment. Sierra Leone takes favoritism back. Forever Young is favored on the pick 3s, the pick 4s, the pick 5s. Fierceness favored in the doubles, and then you're going to see those prices pretty similar between those two. Speaking of Forever Young, Joaquin has more with his camp.
Here, trainer Yoshida Yohagi, who brings in Forever Young for another crack at the Breeders' Cup Classic once again. Hiroshi, his interpreter, is with us as well. Yoshida, when you look at his training last year versus this year, how is Forever Young coming into the Breeders' Cup Classic?
去年と比べて調教とかもこう見ててどうですかと。
いやもう明らかに成長しているのが分かりますよね。
He's a lot improved compared to last year.
How was his comeback race for making his first start off a long layoff in preparation for this?
前走から間空いて使ってそこから今日みたいどうですかと。
前回で75%で今日100%にできたと思ってます。
Yes, last time he ran was 75% condition, so this time we prepared the 100% condition this time.
In the Breeders' Cup Classic last year, he was on a fast pace, down on the rail. What type of trip would he like today?
去年はね速いペースで内側入ってとか苦しい競馬でしたけど、今年はどういうプラン考えてますか？
いやもうジョッキーに任せるだけだし、どんな競馬でもできると思ってます。
Yes, just we leave it to the jockey for tactics. He can do any flexible race, so we have confidence for that.
Thank you so much for the time. Great to see you here at the Breeders' Cup once again. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yoshida Yohagi has won multiple Breeders' Cups already, and he's campaigned this horse all over the world, including a victory in the Saudi Cup. I've said it all week. I thought this was one of the races of the year, this battle with Romantic Warrior. What would it mean, Simon, if Japan were to win the Breeders' Cup Classic?
Oh, I mean, it's huge. They've been pointed to these types of races for the last several years, and they've had success. And Kate, I think, I mean, you could argue he was one of the best 3-year-olds in North America with only one start in the Kentucky Derby.
In each instance in the Kentucky Derby, he could have in any other year been the winner.
Yeah.
That's how narrow the margin of victory was. Very much consistency is a key, I think, to go along with the quality. The fact that this horse shows up almost every single time. His one loss in the Dubai World Cup could be accounted for because of the effort of the Saudi Cup. Everyone has said that none of the horses who did well at Saudi came back to win well in Dubai. It was just a little bit too much, but he's recovered beautifully. He has that win under his belt against easier competition to set him on his way here. And this is the test, right, for him to get the chance to shine on this international stage.
But they've mirrored last year's plan into this race. Top class horses don't race in Tokyo during the summer. It's just too hot and humid. They take a break. Last year, big summer break, an easy prep. This year, same thing. And Christina, we've been looking at him all week, and you've seen him here. I mean, nothing phases him. I mean, he walks around here and he does it every single day. He's out of the stall for 2.5 hours every day, and nothing phases this horse.
And Kate, we were all there when he competed in the Kentucky Derby, and he was the same at that stage as a 3-year-old. Just such a cool customer around.
Okay, horses are coming to the track.
He's the type of horse, too, that does what
And
him to do. And I think that's
not a big betting race for me.
Last year, I think he got involved.
I'm just kind of curious to see how this turns out. The one, Fierceness, currently 7-2. The number 2, Baeza, 7-1. The 3, Nevada Beach, 19-1. The 4, Contrary Thinking, probably your pace leader here, 54-1. The 5, Forever Young, 3-1. Sovereignty is the 6, a scratch. 7, Sierra Leone, 3-1. 8, Mind Frame, 6-1. 9, Journalism, 5-1. Nobody's really talking about journalism. And 10, Antiquarian, 19-1. I like 19-1 actually on Antiquarian. 19-1 on Antiquarian. I might put Antiquarian on top of
Forever Young, and I tell you what, he looks in
Baeza
absolute picture
at 8-1.
there. Has never been worse than third and 12 career starts, and brings his racetrack.
I actually think that's what I'm going to play. I'm going to do my the money backs, but there's no secret. I'm going to do Sierra Leone at 3-1, Forever Young at 3-1, and probably Fierceness at 7-2. I'll be lucky to make any money off of that. I'll need all three of them to get in the top three to make any money. Baeza coming running late, maybe. You know what? I think Antiquarian Baeza might be the value play here. Box Baeza and Antiquarian. Let's see what that pays. 2 and 10.
He does his best running from off the pace, so much like Sierra Leone, he may be up against it from a style standpoint, but he's a nice horse.
That is your field for the $7 million Longines Breeders' Cup Classic, the 1.25 mile classic distance. You have 9 minutes to get your
210 pays $299 for a $2 bet. So base 151, and 10-2 pays about 151. So I'm all over that. That's my bet because everything else doesn't really pay. So I'm going to shoot this out.
They've already run the best race that they've had in their career. I keep coming back to Baeza. He's the one horse that I don't think we've seen the best of him yet. When I saw him win at Parks in Pennsylvania,
We're talking about Baeza now.
Breathtaking. So at 8-1, that's going to be my win bet for the money back special. I'm also going to play an Exact the Box. You can scan that QR code to go to the FanDuel Racing page with Forever Young. That win when he beat Romantic Warrior in the Saudi Cup. Romantic Warrior was the number 1 ranked horse in the world at that point.
So my play is going to be
Forever Young is going to run his heart out once again, but Baeza is going to be my top pick. Let's check in with Mike Joyce.
Aaron Wellman of Eclipse Thoroughbreds with some new jewelry. Let's show him it. They just put it on you. This is the whoop. Fancy. So it's going to measure his heart rate, which, is it spiking yet?
If you ask me about it, it will. Yeah.
I want to talk about journalism just because that seems like the appropriate topic for the time being. The way that he handled the track here, the trip in the Pacific Classic, have you guys taken anything out of that, knowing how he's going to perform today? Is there anything that you could have learned from his most recent effort?
I think we just like to be a little bit more tactically forward than we were in the Pacific Classic, and hopefully he'll take Jose to a spot and let the chips fall where they may from there. Watching these horses walk into the paddock is like, being in the Louvre. Every stall that has a horse being saddled is a masterpiece. So what a field they've assembled here at the Breeders' Cup.
Okay.
As far as how the horse is doing physically,
This isn't a big value play race, so I'm going to go take a shot here with the 2 Baeza and the 10 Antiquarian. I'm going to box those two in an Exacta. We're going to do a $10 Exacta box. Pays 150-1, so it'll be, as of right now, $1,500 if it hits. It's kind of a long shot, but something could happen up front. Baeza is going to be running late. Not sure there's enough pace for Baeza. But Antiquarian, I think, will be up close. We'll have a shot early. I don't know if he's good enough in the stretch, but I could see a scenario where something could happen and these two could mop up. So we're going to take a shot there like that. The 2 and the 10.
Pedigree-wise, his whole disposition is the best is yet to come.
Baeza is a pretty good closer for a horse that'll run mid-pack, and Antiquarian should be mid-pack. Also has a decent closing speed, but not as good as some of those top horses. But like I said, if something happens, and we've seen it happen already today, we'll go with those two. The 2 Baeza with the 10 Antiquarian. We're going to do $10 Exacta box, and that's all we're going to do other than our money backs. We're going to keep it simple, and we're just going to enjoy this race. So good luck if you're wagering 6 minutes to the race. And after this race, we'll take a short break, and then we'll come back for the final 3 races.
Into the bridle, so I would have to think, not that he's going to try and overdo it and try and lay second or third, but I would have to think that Jose Ortiz being aboard for him for the first time, you could get a good look at him, is going to try and lay somewhat close, and that's kind of the art of being a rider, especially riding a horse for the first time. Sometimes if you keep them too close on a closer, it can take away their final kick, so you really have to judge really to perfection in a race like this. Are you too close or not to get them in that real sweet spot?
I was blown away by Nevada Beach behind us, Kate, and I know he's a 3-year-old boy. He doesn't look like it. He's every bit as big and sort of hulking as the rest of them out there.
When he first came in, before I could see him clearly, I just saw Bay with a tiny speck, and I wondered if it was Sierra Leone. And because of that, it makes me look at him again. I liked him all along, and then got to looking at speed figures. He's going to have to run faster than he's ever run before, but he's improved with every start of his life. Only 4 starts. Perhaps we haven't come close to seeing the best or gotten to the bottom of him. The 1.25 miles is the big question mark, I think, whether he's as effective as he was in the Goodwood, but he sure looked like he would be the type that could run on.
Yeah, I think every bit of the added distance will be his friend today, and he is at 20-1. Scott is with his trainer.
Well, trainer Bob Baffert has Nevada Beach, and he's gotten good here as of late. Is he ready for this test here this afternoon against this level of competition, Bob?
This is an extraordinary level of competition. I was looking at them all. They all look so good in here. This is a good field. I mean, Fierceness, he looks terrific. Forever Young looks terrific. Sierra Leone, they all look, Baeza look, I mean, they all look good. And we're just hoping, you know, the trip's going to down the inside. I think, Mike, we're trying to maybe follow Fierceness around there, hopefully, and stay up with him. But, you know, I don't know what's going to happen with the 4-horse, what's going on there. But, you know, just being a race like this and have your clients, he earned his way in there. And we know he can get to 1.25 miles, but, you know, he's going to have to get the right trip, and he's never run against this caliber of horses. But we're excited.
In all your years of coming to the Breeders' Cup, can you compare this group of classic runners to any in the past?
Oh, yeah, I remember Cmon Dude had Uncle Mo and all those good horses. I mean, they're usually Zenyatta's here. There were good horses. It's tough, you know. They're just different kind of horses, you know. But this is a group of horses that a lot of them are, you know, they make it to the end. You know, usually at the end of the year it's tough. You know, it's been a long campaign, but they all showed up.
Good luck today, Bob.
Thank you.
I love hearing that. A man that has won this race multiple times, just sharing the same sentiment that we all feel about this field. We are fans of these horses. We're here because we appreciate what they do and what they have done on this calendar year to lead us to this point. We'll quickly get in a few selections for you here as we approach post time. Do note you have 3 minutes to bring your wagers in the FanDuel Racing app. Here's a look at my top pick. I'm going to go with Mindframe in here. Todd Pletcher, 23% off the 61 to 180 day layoff over the past year. You could apply that to other horses as well that he trains in here, but Mindframe also has the fastest late pace figure of the field. I don't think he's going to be too far off the early pace either. Simon, there's some other multi-race wagers beginning here. Where are you going?
I'm jumping in the pick 4 pool, and it's quite healthy. If you look at the top right-hand corner of the screen there, nearly $2 million, 1-2-5-7. I hate to make choices in this race. All these horses do look good, and I think part of that is 6 of the 9 last race in August. There's been a dramatic change in, you know, having a nice break into the Classic and kind of giving them a little freshening from that hard campaign. Race 10, 3, 4, 7, 10, 11. Very, very tough race in race number 10. That's the FanDuel Breeders' Cup Mile. I think there's all kinds of ways to go in there. Salam will be my European play in there. Nysos was one of my best bets of the day in the Breeders' Cup Dirt Mile. He just looks so good. His form is good. I'll be paying attention to how Mindframe runs here. It could be indicative of the chances of Nysos. And then 6, 9, 11, 14. See the Fire will be my top pick. Bad Post. Good form on the outside in the Breeders' Cup filly mid-turf for Andrew Balding. That's a filly that ran second in the Prix de l'Opera ARC weekend.
$2 million in climbing that pick 4 pool. 2 minutes to get your wagers in for this Breeders' Cup Classic. Now 1 minute until post time. Inside post position for Fierceness. He is your current 3-1 favorite right now. Kate, and I'm curious, we sort of heard Bob Baffert saying we're going to follow Fierceness around there. Do you think that's how it's going to shake out in terms of contrary thinking Fierceness Nevada Beach, or would you reverse those second two?
No, I really think in a perfect world, we get over the first hump out of the starting gate, crossing onto the main track. Fierceness will be sitting forwardly, saving ground along the inside. The beauty of him, though, is that he has shown now as a mature horse that he can settle. He has very good early speed, but he also doesn't have to use it, and I think that is going to be key. So, yeah, I do think it may very well go that way. The problem for me is that if Fierceness is in that position all the way around, he may have a hard time getting room when he needs it to kick on. And that could enable someone else who's running late or just a little bit later to get the jump. I'm curious to see who stays closest, though, to the pace setter. Contrary thinking in a perfect world breaks sharply, goes to the front. Yeah, Fierceness is right behind him, but how close? And where's Mindframe in all this? Because he also is, to me, the only other horse that has enough speed to keep everything honest and to stay in contact to the pace setter. No one is going to want to let that pace setter get so far out in front that you can't reel him in.
Exactly. Florent Giroux he's the key to this race, really, as far with a 50-1 shot. I know it sounds crazy, but I think what will happen if he does go so far in front, I think they'll ride the race. What will happen is they'll ride the race like he's not there and hope he comes back. And then the other thing, he's got to set just the fractions just enough, fast enough for Sierra Leone. If he goes too slow, he hasn't done his job.
Scan to bet now, last few seconds, last few opportunities to get involved. Let's go up to Larry Colmus. It is a classic for the ages. $7 million on the line in the 2025 Breeders' Cup Classic.
Baeza takes his position in the starting gate. Fierceness and Forever Young are in. Here's Nevada Beach. Contrary Thinking steps up to the starting gate. Next is stablemate Sierra Leone. Mindframe. Waiting for Journalism and Antiquarian. Journalism goes in. Antiquarian, the last one. Antiquarian is in. They're all in line. We're ready for the start. They're off in the Breeders' Cup Classic. Baeza was off to a slow beginning. Fierceness goes out to the early lead and runs straight today and straight to the front. Contrary Thinking now moves up alongside of him, and Contrary Thinking will take the lead. Forever Young is close. He's right there on the outside, and Fierceness is down toward the rail. Then comes Mindframe and Antiquarian. Journalism is guided inside by Jose Ortiz. Nevada Beach is along the rail. Baeza is second last, leading only last year's winner Sierra Leone past the opening quarter mile in 23.04 seconds. So Contrary Thinking out there doing his job. He's in front by 2 lengths. Forever Young on the outside of Fierceness, second and third. Break of 2 to Nevada Beach, who's down toward the rail. Mindframe on the far outside. Journalism between those two, just 4 from the front. Then Antiquarian, and it's 3 back to Sierra Leone and Baeza. 45.97 was the half mile, and with 5 furlongs to run, Contrary Thinking leads the field up the Breeders' Cup Classic in front by a half a length, with Forever Young right alongside. Mindframe just to the outside of them makes it 3 in a line. Fierceness just in behind with Journalism to his outside. Then Nevada Beach. Baeza, Sierra Leone between them, and Antiquarian is the trailer. Around the far turn, Forever Young pokes his head in front. Mindframe, and now Journalism confronts them. As Contrary Thinking drops back, Baeza is 4 wide. Fierceness in behind horses. Sierra Leone is right in contention too as they make their way to the top of the stretch. And they're into the stretch in the Breeders' Cup Classic. And Forever Young turns for home with the lead. Journalism is second. Sierra Leone, Fierceness, 1 off the rail. Still Forever Young to catch. Fierceness is coming. Sierra Leone and Journalism, they're coming to the finish. And it is Forever Young. Celebrate Japan! They've won the Breeders' Cup Classic. Sierra Leone was second. Fierceness was third in a final time of 2 minutes. 0.19 seconds.
Japan takes the classic, the land of the rising sun, celebrates where the turf meets the surf. Forever Young, he was close to the pace. He was always in contention. Stormed to the lead as they turned for home, Simon.
He was always in a perfect spot. He had Fierceness locked in down the inside. I said to Joe, I looked over leaving the half-mile pole. I said, Forever Young is traveling smoothly, and he's got Fierceness right where he wants to be, Joe. And he is, I mean, he ran to his looks. He was touting himself all week long, right up until he came in the paddock this afternoon.
I mean, we were talking about him all week, how he would come up to the set and actually stand here for a couple minutes. Just so cool. But what a trip he had. This was unbelievable. And they picked it up down the backside. They went 23, but then 45 and 4. That middle half was pretty quick. He was right off the pace. And then right here, mind frame journalism coming to him. He was having to work here, but very, very impressive fending them off.
And Kate, here we are 365 days later, and the top 3 finishers from the Classic all come back. They run 1, 2, 3 in a different order, but to hold that form for a whole calendar year, just remarkable.
Just a remarkable training feat from all the conditioners involved, but a pivotal moment for Japan to kind of avenge some near misses along the way, including last year's Classic. A picture-perfect trip for Forever Young. Fierceness on the inside, maybe had to wait just a little bit longer to be able to make his run, but at the end of the day, I don't think anyone was beating Forever Young.
And I think at the end of the day, everybody got what they wanted, right? Journalism was closer like they wanted. Sierra Leone started moving earlier like they wanted. Forever Young was close to the pace and in contention. Baeza circling the field as he does. They all ran their race today. There wasn't a clear excuse for anybody. Forever Young was just best.
He was just best on a day where they went 23, 45 and change. I would imagine those splits would be very happy for the connections of Sierra Leone. He came running, obviously a little quicker last year, but Forever Young, he's still improving. I mean, he pulled away from this group. Tremendous, tremendous performance.
And Christina makes such a great point. This was such a great race with us making a case for just about everybody in here. This is what you wanted to see. Everybody got the trip they wanted. The pace, as far as the horses coming from behind, was solid enough to where anyone, which we saw, was able to run into it. And just a great finish in the end.
And I think we have to go back to, Kate, and remember that Kentucky Derby where Sierra Leone and Forever Young were all over each other down the length of the stretch. There was a lot of talk about that bumping and that traffic trouble and the sportsmanship from the Japanese horsemen on that day in defeat, in coming back here multiple times with this horse and sending him to the winner's circle today. This is a very fulfilling moment for them, and one that you feel like he deserved for the last 2 years.
For sure.
It's kind of what the Breeders' Cup was designed to do, to give you an opportunity to showcase those stars from the Triple Crown races as they continue to mature. And though they were raw talent there, they were consummate professionals today.
And real quick, Christina, that Kentucky Derby you mentioned, Sierra Leone, Forever Young, and neck apart. They were a half a length apart last year. I mean, we're talking 2 years worth of form that has just held steady, race in, race out.
This has been a rivalry that has been fun to watch, and they've all had their moment in the sun. Today, Forever Youngs and Japan in the Breeders' Cup Classic.
Well, nice run from
Number 5,
Forever Young there. I kind of felt like it was his turn to win. I was talking to Nick about that yesterday, and he asked me who I thought would win this. I said, well, you know, that's pretty evenly matched. I just felt like this was going to be Forever Young's turn here, but I didn't feel like it was a bet worth betting. You know, at 7-2. I wanted to take a shot, and my exacta play 210 kind of played out the way the odds played out, way at the back. I don't even know if Antiquarian is finished yet, but that's okay. I didn't bet much on it, and I'm happy for Forever Young. It was his turn, like I said. What a crop of 3-year-olds we had a couple years ago with these three. You know, even with Baeza, you know, Sierra Leone, Forever Young. I'm sorry, Baeza wasn't part of that group. Forever Young, Sierra Leone, Fierceness, that trio. Wow. Really good, really good. So we're going to take a short break. We'll be back in about 15 minutes for the next 3 races. It will be a separate stream, so check YouTube for that. It'll say Breeders' Cup Live Part 3. But thanks for joining. I see lots of people in the chat here. Thank you for chiming in. And we'll take a quick break here. I'm going to leave this stream and then look for the Part 3 stream here, and we should be on in about 10 to the hour. Thank you.